It is September already. Let's use the power of the tarot to find out what is in store for us this month and find out what types of things we can harvest and harness in our lives. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Leesa. I am a certified tarot consultant whose goal is to help you leverage the power of the tarot to gain insights into yourself, navigate your life, and make your life amazing. And today we are going to do a month ahead reading for the month of September. We're going to look at the energies that are surrounding you now, what types of things you're pulling from August up into the present, what's in store for you this coming month, and most importantly, what types of things are ready for you to harvest in your life and how can you utilize those things moving ahead. So if you are new to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button so that you won't miss next month's reading. And know that I do pick a card readings, tarotscope readings, meditations, all sorts of tarot related videos here. So let's jump right into it. This is a collective reading, so by nature they tend to be a bit more general, but if you're drawn to this video, then this reading is for you. You and I are going to team up intuitively to help you get the guidance that you need. So while I am setting up, take the next couple of minutes to slow your breathing, get into that sort of fuzzy head space, and just be ready to tap into that intuition. And we're going to be looking here, guys, at the month ahead when it comes to September. So for me, this time of year is one of my favorite times of the year. It's kind of that start of those harvest seasons. And it is at a point where I'm gearing up for fall in the Northern Hemisphere. Very excited for that time of year. And I'm not sure where you are, but September is kind of the jump off point for all of that for me. So really excited about that. Okay. So we're going to start with just three oracle cards here. Your job in just a second is going to be to choose one of these oracle cards. So hopefully you're feeling tuned in. All right. Okay. So today, guys, I have 3 acorns for you. I felt like that was really I guess a good match for September, but I have 3 acorns for you. I'm going to show them to you, and I want you to decide on the one that speaks to you the most. So they actually have runes on here as well. If you don't know what the runes mean, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Just pick the one that's speaking to you. This first rune is Fehu. Okay, we're going to put that here for number 1. The second rune is Degaz. This little tiny acorn right here. And the last one is Inguz. I'm going to put that right here. So take a deep breath in and out and look at these 3 runes on these 3 acorns, on these 3 cards, and decide which one is speaking to you today. And that is the pile that you are going to follow in the reading that you are going to get. Okay, so now that you've decided, we're going to go ahead and jump into the reading. If you chose pile number 1 or card number 1, we're going to start with you first, so just keep watching. The other 2, I'm going to put the timestamps down below, so you're going to want to jump to the appropriate reading, and we will go from there. Okay, so group number 1, we're going to go ahead and get started with this oracle card right here. When that is done, we're going to do a general tarot reading, and then at the end, I have one last oracle card to pull for you. So let's go ahead and get started here. By the way, you picked the rune of Fehu, which is actually the rune of prosperity. And we are going to combine that with this card of inspiration. And this is, between the two of these, I'm just seeing a real wealth of ideas and things that could inspire you this month. So I want you to keep that in mind as we are going through this. You should have, throughout September, a lot of things there that inspire you and just a wealth of ideas and things that can propel you forward. But let's see what everything else, what else we're looking at. So I want to get a really good sense, guys, about kind of what the energies are that are surrounding you this month, and kind of what you're pulling into the month of September. What types of things need to be harvested? That's kind of a good theme for September, right? What types of things can be harvested? What types of things need to be brought forward at this point in your life? By the way, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please go ahead and do so. If you are excited about getting this reading, it definitely helps me out. Okay. Okay. So I want to take a look first at kind of those internal energies that you have going on right now. All right, and so we have the Chariot. We have the Chariot card. So guys, moving ahead into September, there are definitely some things that you have set straight recently where you feel like, okay, you are on the right path, you're moving ahead. You need to, or you feel like recently, you've really had to whip some things into shape and make things better for yourself and kind of organize your life and organize your emotions. So September is going to be an awful lot about kind of getting, internally, getting yourself sort of organized, getting a handle on where you are and what you're looking to do and looking to see. And having those things kind of line up for you. Externally, some of the other, interesting. Okay. There's going to be a lot of support actually that you are going to have coming through in regards to some groups that you're in. And this could be friend groups, but more likely it's going to be more organized than that. So think about, clubs or organizations that you're involved in, any religious organizations that you're involved in, any schools, that you're involved in, programs, learning programs, anything like that going into September. Those things are going to be there that are going to actually help. And sometimes those organizations and those kind of rules inside of those organizations externally pushing on you internally can help you kind of whip yourself into shape. So for a number of us, we're kind of coming off that summer lull and into a more structured time period. So I'm definitely seeing that is coming through right now for you. So sort of expect that and be ready to kind of look at that. Now, I wanted to look at some of the things that have been planted in the past and some of the things that, and when I say planted, what I mean is that you have some things in your life that you have planted like seeds that are sitting there gestating, kind of ready to, potentially move ahead. And it looks to me that you have set yourself up for success. And this could just be in all areas of life if you feel just really strongly in that way. Or there could be something, more likely there's one thing this month, and I want to see where some of these other cards land. I want to see where this is going, but it looks like there is a particular area of your life that you've set yourself up for really strong success in, probably with the support of other people around you. I'm going to dig more into this card a little bit later, but there is a seed of success planted there, just kind of waiting for you. Let's look at kind of August moving ahead. Okay. Interesting. So Seven of Pentacles, guys, it's so funny. This is a harvest reading. Seven of Pentacles is all about kind of waiting for that harvest to come in. So having some of those things that you have planted in the past that you are waiting to harvest or that you are waiting to dig up. So to me, August looks like one of those months where you may have been in wait mode. Especially, and some of you right now have something in your head where you're like, yes, I know, here's this thing I've been waiting on or this thing I've been working on, and it's sort of stalled out in much of August. So for some of you, this could be a very general reading. And for some of you, this could be, hey, there's this really specific thing that I'm thinking about right now that just popped into my head. And if that's where you are, you're watching this and you're like, oh, no, my career or my love life or that project I've been working on, that kind of key on that, because that could be one of the main focuses for you. You know, that's your intuition or your guides kind of speaking to you or poking you in regards to that. Okay, so I want to take a little bit of time and look at kind of what your expectations of the month are and how that could potentially shape things. You know, what, you know, this month looks like for you in regards to, you know, what you should be harvesting, you know, what your next steps should be in terms of digging something up or, you know, being ready to pull something to the forefront now. And then also want to see kind of what the long-term opportunities are. But that one, I think we're going to wait until the end to take a look at that. Okay, so this is interesting, guys, because I'm actually seeing a number of cards here that deal with collaboration. Okay, so for example, these first two cards together, I'm seeing kind of that internal energy being supported by a group around you. I'm seeing some of your past, you know, seeds that you have planted are there and being supported by the people around you. August, I mean, this is not really speaking of collaboration, but the Three of Pentacles actually is a card that oftentimes does talk about collaboration, but with it being reversed, you know, I'm seeing, number one, look at this guy. He's sleeping, right? So I feel like whatever this project or thing or whatever you were expecting, whatever thing you've pinpointed, or it could be just your life in general, you are expecting that this month might be a little lackluster or that things aren't quite going to get done. You might even expect that this is not going to be a super productive month for you, or that whatever goals that you have that you're shooting for, you're going to miss. The Three of Pentacles also deals a lot with working independently versus working together. And so it might be a suggestion for you to kind of look for opportunities to collaborate. Now, looking at, you know, that thing to harvest or something that should be harvested. Wow, look at all the pentacles popping up here. Okay. Here, this is great. Okay, I'm loving this in this role. So, Four of Pentacles, guys, is traditionally a card, if it's upright, of that idea of being very, very careful with your resources. Now, this could be money, it could be time, it could be anything kind of tangible that you can count or hold. This is why money tends to connect to the coins cards or the pentacles cards, because it's that thing that we can use as a resource to trade for stuff. But it doesn't have to be just money. But upright, it's about, you know, holding and saving and whatever. When it is reversed, it's that idea, I mean, you can see this person here is just being showered in coins, and it's that idea of kind of being very free with money. So when this card comes up in this position in regards to like, where is this month going to take you and what do you need to harvest? There is something that you have been watching very carefully, waiting for the right time to move or to act, very likely related to money, time, other resources, something, okay? And you've been waiting for that time to act. This is that time. So whatever you have saved up for, whatever you have, you know, held on to or gripped onto tightly, this is the month to kind of let that go. You've been saving for a reason. This is the month to take action on that, okay? And we're gonna hold this card position 10, this last one until the end. I wanna take a look at kind of some of those things that you need to ditch this month, because we all have energies that are sort of closing in around us that we need to push away. And we all have things that we need to pull in. And then we have people around us that can be very supportive or sometimes not. So right now, I want you to think about either your life or the project or the goal or whatever this thing is. Who are your five? Think about the 5 people that are closest to you in regards to that thing or your life, okay? So thinking of those people, I want to see how they can support you or what they can do in this way. Oh, wow. Okay. So I get the 10 of Hearts reversed. Okay. So those people that are around you, actually, guys, I get the sense that they are not going to be very helpful. They may actually be hurtful to you in whatever this position is that you're working on. Okay, so whatever you have in your head right now, whether it's a project or a relationship or just your life in general, your situation, there's going to be some discord, there's going to be some heartache and some issues. So if you're relying on other people in order to move forward in whatever this project is, you need to not do that, because I'm seeing a rocky road ahead in regards to that. So, just kind of keep an eye on that. Think about that, but don't rely on other people in order things to kind of push away. Okay. Whatever this project is, and I'm saying project because I'm trying to be very generic. Obviously, it's a collective reading, so I don't know if you're thinking about a relationship or your job or just your life in general, but whatever this thing is that you have in your head right now, there is going to be this tendency this month for you to maybe belittle the pain that you're feeling, or belittle the kind of the hardships that you might be going through. Okay, this idea of just kind of shoving it off to the side, and that can be very helpful in terms of pushing ahead with things, but this is actually a cautionary tale. Sometimes pain and hurt can actually be used as a propellant, right, to move you ahead. So it's saying, hey, don't dismiss things too quickly. If you are hurt or you are frustrated or you have things that are bothering you about the situation, don't pretend that it doesn't matter when it really does. Make sure that you are getting a clear picture of everything and addressing those things that are problematic for you. Move ahead in due course, but don't be that person that says, oh, it doesn't really matter, and then it does, and it just sits under there and festers. You don't want to do that. What you do want to pull towards yourself. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands. It is reversed. Okay, so Four of Wands reversed in this sense is talking to me about a goal that is, or something that is just short of being done. If it was upright, I would say, hey, things are done, things are ready to move ahead. But in this sense, it's not, it's on its head. Once again, this to me is this is a very solitary card when it's on its head. If it was flipped up, I would tell you that it is more group oriented. Okay, so pulling towards yourself, guys, I would say whatever thing that you have on your plate that's close to done, almost done, nearly there, I would say pull towards yourself. And I might actually go and kind of go against here where I was saying maybe you need to consider working with others. With this, and then of course this card over here, I might say, you know what, consider going it alone, whatever this thing is. If it's possible to kind of make the bulk of the decisions on your own, I'm going to say go ahead and move ahead that way. Taking a look at some of the long-term possibilities. Oh gosh, the growth this month that you could have, the seed. We're talking about planting seeds and harvesting seeds. This is the Page of Pentacles card. And look at the page there, just looking through this. I mean, right here, we're just seeing this concept of long-term growth, things, another seed being planted. So what you want to do is and here we go, another Pentacle card. Look at them here, a little bit here. Okay, so taking even a closer look at this, guys. So I'm seeing, coming out of last month, and if we just follow the coins cards here, coming out of last month, you have a lot of things that were planted. You have a lot of things that are kind of there, sort of in the ground, coming to fruition. You are not necessarily expecting that these things are going to pop this month, but this card is telling me that whatever this is that you've been holding on to, waiting for, this is the month to do it. And actually, this harvest that you are going to create now or do now or manifest this month or whatever is going to directly lead to basically planting another seed that's going to lead to greater things moving into the future. So I want to take a look at one more card for you, specifically looking at kind of the type of energy that you want to try to surround yourself with this month. and some of the steps that you want to take as you're heading to make this harvest and move forward. I'm going to draw this card at the end of the video, so go ahead and slide ahead to that timestamp and I'll see you there. Okay, group number 2. So you chose the acorn with the Degaz rune on it. And Degaz actually means balance, and it's talking about balance in your life. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so we actually get the card that indicates lust. It's this idea of that same type of energy that you get with Venus in Aries, and combining that with this idea of balance. It tells me that you will have this month some things that really get you up and going. Lust does not have to be doesn't have to be lust in regards to a relationship. It could just be in terms of life. But you know, it is telling me to, you know, that you need to make sure that you are trying to maintain balance, even if you are getting very excited about a particular person or a particular project or just life in general. You know, make sure that you're not allowing that to kind of rule everything. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, is we are going to start with the tarot reading. I want to look at some of the energies coming into your life, some of those that are going to be surrounding you during the month of September. I want to look at kind of what you've planted in the past and where you're going in the future, what do you need to harvest this month. And then we're going to pull a card at the end to help us figure out what type of energy that we need to try to surround ourselves with this month. Okay, but we're going to start looking at some of those energies that you have surrounding you right now, what you're pulling forward into September out of August, and then of course what you have planted in the past that is perhaps getting ready to harvest now at this point. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is when I look at this particular card, guys, you can see this person is in a bit of distress, but with the card being reversed, I'm seeing that September could be a month that's very busy and stressful, but manageably so, if that makes sense. And this is a card all about your internal energies. So you might spend much of September, one of two things. Some of you are going to feel like, oh, okay, August was crazy, and now, you know, September feels a lot better. I have a lot of things being pulled off of my shoulders. I feel better about things. Others of you are going to continue to feel that stress pushing through September, but it's going to be manageable for you, or you're going to be at a spot where you feel maybe you're on the breaking point, but it's going to be something that you can definitely push through. Wow, more swords. Okay, and a lot of this, guys, with the external kind of coming in, that idea of feeling as though you might be fighting against a larger system or your boss or someone or something where you feel like you don't have a whole lot of control. Okay, so the reason why I mention a boss, for example, is that's someone that can put a lot of pressure on you, but doesn't necessarily, you can't really act much or act out against that. Anything, if you're feeling like you're a tiny little cog in a big system, and that's putting a lot of stress on you, that could be that as well. If you're in a relationship where you feel like the underdog, it could be that as well. So much of this month is going to be you kind of managing a stress level that is there. And a lot of that external kind of mess coming in, dealing with that, is going to be from either one or multiple situations where you just feel like you're kind of on the losing end of things and trying to push through that. So be aware of that, be prepared for that, and kind of plan this month to set some time aside for yourself and to try to manage some of that. Now, looking at some of those things in the past, okay, some things that have been planted, this is an interesting card on something that that would have been planted. And hold on one second here. As I'm looking, you can see this is the Judgment card. Okay. So guys, sometimes the things that we plant in the past or the things that we set down, and when I say plant, what I mean is the actions that we take today are going to lead to results in the future. Okay, actually, that's what the judgment card, the judgment card is all about that. Like, what have you done in the past and how is that coming to fruition today? Not everything that we plant or do is going to ultimately be helpful for us or something that we intentionally do. There are some things that may come to a head this month where you planted or did some things in the past that actually set yourself up in a way that were sort of self-sabotaging or set yourself up in a manner that maybe, not for success or in a way that actually is going to hinder your success. Now, here's the thing. And I want to point this out because this is a general reading. I can't drill down and say, oh, this is about your job or this is about your love life or whatever. So by this point in the reading, either you are thinking, okay, this is about my life in general, or you may have already kind of gotten a ping in your intuition that said, this is about my job. This is about this project I've been working on. This is about my creative life. Whatever that is, if you got that ping, focus on that for the remainder of the reading. But there is something in your past that you laid down that's not really helpful for you right now. And it's sitting there kind of like as this seed that is not doing you a whole lot of good. All right. Coming out of August. Okay, so guys, August was a month and I can see where these, more of this. All right. Seven of Wands is a card all about needing to take a stand or stance on things. Sometimes fighting against what other people believe or think is right and trying to stand up for what you believe in and what you think is right. So August, in regards to whatever this thing is, could have been a month where you are arguing with yourself or other people about, what the correct direction is and kind of where things should be going. And there's going to be a lot of that kind of bleeding over into September. So keep that in mind. And once again, I'm going to say, if these things are ringing really true for you, make sure that you are setting aside some time for you to take time for yourself and kind of work through some things mentally and just, take a break. Now, let's see kind of where your head is at this point. And I want to look and see what do we need to harvest? What do you need to harvest this month? And then, of course, where we're going long-term with this. Okay, Two of Pentacles. I love seeing this after seeing this. Okay, so when I look at these first few cards, guys, I'm seeing a lot of stress and some things that are kind of coming at you or things that, you just were dealing with. But when I see the Two of Pentacles upright, guys, look at this person juggling all these balls. Okay, that's a lot of things up in the air, and this person is managing those things. Okay, they're managing to hold on to these things. They're managing to keep all those balls up in the air. So you know inside that even if you're dealing with stress or a lot of things, that whatever September has to throw at you, you've got this. Okay, and that's a great mindset to have. Dig down if you're still kind of wobbling there, but because internally, deep internally, you know that you've got this. So that is an excellent thing. All right, looking at actually what we want this harvest to be. King of Cups. Okay, time this month to come into your own, especially when it comes to those things that you are, some of those passion projects that you have, or anything that you have up to this point where, especially right here with this Wands card, you would not fight so hard about something if you didn't know for sure, or at least in your head, like, hey, I know this is the way to go. I know this is the right thing. This is the month for moving ahead and kind of claiming that thing. Okay. King of Cups is very strong in the power that this card has, this idea of kind of knowing, being very wise about things, understanding a topic in and out, being able to explain it, and knowing intuitively what the right thing to do is. So whatever this is in relation to, whether, like I said, it's a job or just your life in general, September is a great month to kind of come into your own in regards to that. Now, watch this though. Okay, so here's these two cards, okay, King of Cups and this Lust card, there's that very same type of energy, but once again, keep this balance with that, because you don't want to take it too far. Now, looking at energies, I want to look at a couple things. Everyone has energies kind of going around them at any given time, right? So some of them are not going to be so good. Some of them we want to pull towards us. Some of them we want to go ahead and push away. So I want to look at those. And then I also want you to think about real quick the 5 people most related to this situation for you, whether it's your life or your relationships or whatever. Think about, 1 to 5 people that are going to be really important for this situation, because I want to pull a card on how that person is going to be helpful or potentially harmful for you during the month of September as you're trying to move ahead. Okay. All right. So the very first thing to look at and just keep in mind as you're moving ahead, and this is in regards to things that we want to make sure that you are pushing away, or energies that might kind of seep in throughout the month that you don't want to keep or don't want to hold on to. There could be there's a quitting attitude or a quitting mindset that is very likely to seep in this month. The last thing you want to do, okay, so you can see in this card, you have this person sitting here, they're waiting for these, basically for this harvest. So it's very funny that this card would come in, and this actually came in the last group too, so that's always interesting. But this harvest card, okay, right here, you can see it's so close, it's almost ready. With it reversed, the person's about ready to walk away. This is not the month to cut ties and run. There is something just there for you if you are willing to stick with it. And so don't let that defeatist attitude kind of sneak in. All right, energy to pull in to yourself is very much a kind of that logical mindset. Now this is interesting because we have the King of Cups here. Okay, and the King of Cups is talking about kind of manifesting, coming into your own, especially with intuitive ideas and things dealing with feelings. And the Lust card here with this idea of balance over top of it, same concept. So what I'm seeing here is this idea of the Queen of Swords. She's very thoughtful. She's also very decisive. So I'm thinking for you, definitely be ready to feel with your heart, but be ready to make decisions, be ready to think things through and think about things logically. Once you're ready, once you have it and you've thought things through, you thought about the balance piece of it, be ready to jump. Now, other people. Oh, this is great. Okay, so whoever that person or people were that you have most thought about in relation to this, okay, and these could just be people in your life, like I said, or it could be related to whatever project or theme this is for you. There is a message for you. Someone is going to bring something your way that is going to actually be fairly urgent, something that you can take from them and act on right away that is going to help you get to this King of Cups area, to help you claim your power and your knowledge and your understanding, okay? So keep an eye out for that. Someone's going to have something. It could be a message like an email or a phone call, or it could be something where they just kind of say something, give you something, do something, but something's going to come your way from one of these people that is going to be something that you can act upon. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, more swords here. Page of Swords, guys, in the long run, what does this have to set up for you? Pages cards are great because they are talking about new beginnings and ways that things are going to move forward. And once again, kind of seeds that are planted. So here's what I'm seeing for you. Actually, I love the purples in this card. This is a really beautiful card. All right, so here's when it comes to this idea of kind of your harvest and what is there for you. Let's sort of recap. Okay, so we have a situation where September, you might feel a little bit like there's some pressure being put on from you from the outside world, definitely kind of bleeding over from August. All right. We've got the Seven of Pentacles down here saying, hey, don't quit on things, keep your head about you, because this is the month to maybe ditch some of those bad habits or whatever this seed is that maybe, it could be something that you placed in the past that isn't helping you, or it could be straight up overdue. Like maybe this thing for you is just overdue. Like get done with it already. Figure out what that is. Claim your power in regards to this thing that you know quite a bit about. Make a decision in regards to that. Moving forward, you are going to feel, you have the Queen of Swords here, pull her power into you, this idea of knowing, being sure of yourself, because that is just going to pave the way for you feeling good, even moving ahead. Okay, so has a lot of positive things. It looks like there's going to be some stuff to work through. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of kind of headbutting here, but feeling that people are going to be helpful for you. There's going to be something, keep an eye out for kind of some of these signs that you might see from people. And then I want to pull one more card. One more card about kind of what types of, more about the energy that you want to have around you and some of the first steps to take. But we're going to take a look at this at the end of the video, guys. So just slide ahead to that, hit that timestamp, and I'll see you there. Okay, group number 3. So you picked the rune Inguz, and this is about, this is a really powerful rune. This is about having that strength to move forward, getting your feet firmly grounded in a plan, and being ready to move forward with a lot of power. So combining that with this card. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is a card that's all about the energy of Mercury within the sign of Capricorn. If you don't know what that means, that's fine, but it's just about the energy there, and it deals a lot with organization. So what I'm seeing here, guys, in Capricorn is a very practical sign, right? So this idea of getting your ducks in a row and just moving forward with an organized plan. This is great. This is telling me that September, and look, there's even, I love how the wheat is there as well. That idea of being able to move forward with something, harvest something. This is a great set of cards for you right off the bat, or set of messages for you right off the bat. So what I want to do, guys, we're going to do a tarot reading, and then at the end, we're going to go ahead and pull another card out of that deck over there to help us understand a bit more about kind of how to move forward. But I want to take some time, first of all, to look at the energies surrounding you and coming in for you in the month of September. Those things that you've planted in the past, how we can harvest things this month, and sort of some of those energies to watch out for. So let's see where we go with this. All right. All right. Okay, so the very first thing we have is the Fool reversed. Okay, so internally, guys, what you have kind of going on inside during the month of, and this might even harken back to this set of messages right here. So September to me, and it looks like it's going to feel to you, wow, that was difficult to say. Let me kind of rephrase that. Internally, for you, September is not going to feel like a month to goof off. For some of you, it might even feel like a month where you're feeling disconnected from your ability to kind of know right from wrong, or what is the right path for you. I love the Fool upright because there's a lot of things involved in this, but one of those things, one of those concepts is that idea of kind of being willing to take chances, willing to just kind of go along the path as it takes you, and feeling confident in your ability to sort of run across things that are going to be useful for you. But when it's reversed, I feel like all that's kind of bottled up, and that is what I'm kind of getting from internally in terms of September. Now, okay, so externally, kind of what's going to be coming down on you. This could be, hold on, I've got two things here. Okay, number one. So this card is the external things that are going to be causing a lot of this uncertainty that you have internally. So for many of you, there is going to be some event that is going to happen that is going to kind of crush your spirits a bit. You had something where you were feeling like, oh, this thing's going to go okay, and one thing's going to happen, and it's going to just be a major blow to you, and it's going to send you kind of reeling. For most of you, I feel like September might be one of those months where you just have a series of things that is just not landing for you, either little tiny like misses or things that you were hoping were going to happen and just aren't, or things that are not as good as you expected them to be. And September has it looks like there's just going to be a lot of that energy kind of just poking you. You can see this guy has all these swords in his back, like one after the other, after the other, after the other. So I'm seeing for many of you, that's going to be a real, kind of a real issue. So there's this external sort of poke, poke, poke going that's going to cause some of you to lose your footing, so to speak. This is a fantastic card because I wanted to look at what you had planted in the past in terms of seeds that are ready to kind of come to fruition. And I mean, look at that. It looks like a seed in his hand, like he can just dump it into the ground. Opportunities for success. So you have set up sometime in the past. And when I say seeds, guys, I'm talking about those actions that we do in the past that lead to results today. So whether we intended to or not, there is something that you placed in the past that is getting ready to come to fruition. It is there. It is ripe and ready to be picked. See, he's like handing that out to you. Now, at this point, guys, in the reading, you might look at this and say, okay, this is a general reading about my life. Or some of you would have gotten like that ding, like that, okay, this is about my love life, my career, that project I'm working on, my creative side, whatever. So if you have gotten sort of a little like tap on the shoulder that says, hey, this is about your whatever, pay attention to that. If this is about your life in general, pay attention to that too. But looking at kind of what is coming out of August. Okay, so Lover's card. Lover's card, guys, is all about those really super strong connections and the things that make us incredibly excited and really, really passionate about something. This could be another person, or it could just be a project that you have. It could be your job. It could be anything that you have that makes you feel inside really excited and that you just love, love, love this thing. It's different from kind of a fleeting like. It is something that's really deep and very profound. It's a connection that you have with something that genuinely makes your life better. So looking at that, kind of bringing that into the month. So if we look at kind of this energy coming in from August, moving into September, you know, there is something there that you need to harness moving in here, because this is a great card. This, you're sort of stumbling a bit, and because of all these things that are kind of coming your direction. To me, it's saying right off the bat, hey, this energy from August that you have in terms of that thing that you feel really strongly about, that brings you a lot of joy, makes you feel complete, bring that energy into this month. Don't leave it just sitting there. Now, let's look at where your head is and kind of what your next steps need to be. What that harvest looks like. But let's look first at your expectations. All right, this is fantastic. Guys, this is the Empress card. And when I see the Empress card, a lot of times I do see this idea of a harvest, you know, this harvesty type of card. And you can kind of see in the background, there's definitely some golds. And then, you know, we have some greens there. But a lot of times the Empress is not about the end result. A lot of times it's about that thing beginning to come into fruition, but it's not quite there yet. So for many of you, whatever this focus is, you have this idea that something is coming. You feel pretty good about it. Okay, we've got this thing here, right? This seed. You have this idea in your head that not quite there yet, whatever this thing is, but you're feeling pretty good about it, which is good. All right. So throughout much of September, you're going to feel like that thing is within your grasp. Now, I want to see kind of what we need to look at. All right. So the harvest this month has to do with the Queen of Cups reversed. So this is a card position that I wanted to lay out for you to try to figure out, what do you need to do at this point? Where do you need to go? What do you need to basically pull up out of the ground? What do you need to take action on? Okay. What is your harvest for the month of September? And when I see the Queen of Cups upright, she's a lot about kind of, you know, following your intuition, but she's very much about being receptive and feeling, and that idea of sort of preparing. She doesn't act a whole lot. Queen of Cups reversed is telling me that the time to act is now. If you have had something that you have felt really strongly about and you know is the right thing for you, but you've been sort of holding off on it, and in fact, this could be coming right from this. Very feminine energies off of both of these, meaning that idea of taking something, holding it, shaping it. That's in both of these cards, okay? And you can see here, holding something, shaping something, holding something, shaping something. But Queen of Cups is saying, hey, you don't think that this is the month for this thing. You think it needs more time. It doesn't need more time. Okay, the time to act is going to be now. All right, so let's look at some of the energies that, and we're going to, long-term card we're going to hold off on, but some of these energies that I want you to maybe push away from you, because of course there's going to be some energies bombarding you that I want you to try to ignore to the best you can. And then some you want to pull in. And I do want you, no matter what this is, if it's about you or about your work or about your relationships, pick 1 to 5 people that are going to be the most influential, because I want to see what their impact is going to be on you. So I want you to think about 1 to 5 people that have an impact either on your life in general or on this specific topic for you. Okay. All right. So when it comes to those people, all right, so 4 of Hearts, and here we go. All right, so the people that are closest to you within this situation, guys, they are going to be there in a way to offer you advice and to give you advice to help you try to get to a point where you feel good about where you need to be. The energy in the 4 of Hearts is going to kind of mirror that energy in the Queen of Cups, that sort of feeling energy. But there is definitely this idea that these people are going to have that advice. Now, whether or not that advice is good or bad, or is beneficial or malicious, is kind of up for grabs. Energy that you need to push away. Temperance. Okay, so guys, temperance is this idea of taking 2 things and kind of blending them together. And with temperance, it's a good mix, right? Everything's perfect. Everything's perfectly balanced. You have exactly the right mix of A and B, or C and D and E, and you mix them together and it makes this perfect thing. There's this idea of perfection. And I have to say too that, there is definitely this idea in Capricorn of things being lined up, but this is telling me, hey, don't worry too much about being absolutely perfect with everything. Get yourself organized and ready to move, but do not let perfectionism get in the way of moving ahead. And in fact, the energy to pull towards you is the King of Wands, very much a card of action. Okay, where once again, we have this Queen of Cups reversed. I'm saying, hey, the time to act is now. You need to pull that action energy towards you, and not just moving, but moving with a purpose and moving with excitement and having those passions about whatever this thing is for you, having that there, being willing to move ahead, okay? Don't let it just sit and wait, okay? Here's the seed. Go ahead and grab that. Move forward. Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups reversed as this kind of long-term what's going to happen here. And one of the things to consider, guys, and I want to sort of lay this out there, because when I see the 6 of Cups reversed this month, this is going to be one of those months that when you are all said and done with it, and you look back on it, you may feel actually like you are putting in more than you are getting in regards to other people. But I want to make sure that you realize that other people are not always the most important factors, right? Whatever this thing is for you, it's important that you figure out yourself and feel good about where you are, okay? And if you have to work a bit harder to get to your goal and you feel like other people aren't pulling their weight, or you look back on it and you say, I did all the work there. If you made your goal or you got to where you needed to be and you harvested this thing and things are amazing, you need to not be so concerned about that. Don't worry about that. Okay. So when I look at things here, guys, I am seeing a month where you could feel a little bit off kilter, and you could be kind of boxed about the ears in regards to some little things, or perhaps one big thing that kind of shakes you a little bit, but your foundations here are really strong, and you've got some things that are ready to hit, and it's time to act on those things. Okay, whatever those things are, don't let them just kind of sit there waiting. Now's the time. Okay. Oh, and look for those advice bits from the people around you. Listen to them, take them in consideration. You know, even if they're not great, thank them, move on, because you never know what's going to pop up. Now, one last card. I'm going to pull this in just a quick second. Put the timestamp down below, but you're in the third group, so just hold tight and I'll get that for you real quick. So one last bit of guidance for you guys. We want to see what type of energy you want to step into September with. How do you want to move ahead? Is there anything else that you can focus on this month in regard to the energies around you or actions that you can take? By the way, guys, take a minute while we're going through this last little bit here, and if you would, leave me a comment. Let me know if this resonated with you, and let me know which pile you picked, 1, 2, or 3, and kind of how that worked out for you. And we'll take a quick look. Trust. Okay, beautiful card. So whether or not this is speaking to you, trusting yourself or trusting the universe or trusting those people around you or trusting a process, you at some point are going to have to make a leap of faith this month. And it's important to go into September knowing that sometimes you have to just have faith in whatever is going on around you. Okay. Be willing to trust what is out there, be willing to trust other people or yourself, or, you know, whatever is relevant to the reading that you just had. How does trust play into that? And keep that in mind as you're moving ahead, especially keeping in mind, you know, the card that you got in the beginning and the acorn that you chose. How does trust play into that? And guys, if you haven't seen your tarotscope reading for the month, that is one that can really tap into your personal birth chart. So I'll go ahead and make sure I include those links up there, but take some time to look at that. That could also help you as we move into the month. Subscribe if you would love to see these readings next month, or check out some of my other videos. I would love to have you follow along, but that's it for today's reading. And I hope you have a great September, guys. If you'd like to talk to me about a personal one-on-one reading, links are below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.